one opponent with the Department of Corrections. Go ahead, Representative Harper.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. I'm pleased to bring before you today House Bill 2541, which is the Re-Entering Citizens Civics Education Act. So every year, 30,000 citizens re-enter society from Illinois correctional institutions and are given no education in regards to their civic rights after they have been told that they have lost them. When I come across many of these people in my community, they believe that they have lost their right to vote forever, and that is a shame. We want to change that by passing this bill. House Bill 2541 will provide re-entering citizens with a nonpartisan civics peer education program that aims to promote the successful integration of re-entering citizens, strengthen democracy, and also reduce rates of recidivism in Illinois. Since classes are led by peers, this activity should bear no extra cost to the state, but only serve to educate men and women on their civic rights and duties immediately upon release from prison. I do have with me to help answer questions about the bill, Dr. Christina Rivers from DePaul and other members of the team who have helped to bring this legislation. I welcome any questions from the committee, and I encourage an aye vote.
Do the proponents want to present or just answer questions?
I have a brief presentation.
Make sure the green light's on your.
It's on.
Okay.
It's on now.
Oh, there you go.
So, sorry, my first time at rodeo. So I have a brief presentation of about 3 minutes, if I would be allowed to give some
Absolutely.
overviews of the bill. Okay, so just to introduce myself, first off, good afternoon and thank you, Representative Cassidy and everyone. My name is Christina Rivers. I'm an associate professor of political science at DePaul, where I've taught since 2001. And I'm also the director of the Center for Black Diaspora there and inaugural DePaul Presidential Diversity Fellow. I earned my PhD from Cornell University and am the author of the Congressional Black Caucus, Minority Voting Rights in the Supreme Court. My teaching and research areas are in the history and law of minority voting rights and the development of Black political thought. More recently, my work has turned to the intersections of mass incarceration and political representation. This includes teaching on those topics at Stateville Correctional Center in Crest Hill and volunteering with Cook County Jail Votes program organized by Chicago Votes. I thank you very much for this opportunity to talk with you about HB2541. I'll just take a few minutes to review the overall goals and key provisions of the bill, and then we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have about it. So as folks have mentioned here before, Representative Harper, thank you. The chief goal of this bill is to promote the successful integration of re-entering citizens, to promote democracy, and to reduce rates of recidivism in Illinois. I was very happy to hear a few minutes ago that those rates are already reducing, and so we think that this bill would help propel that momentum. Another purpose or goal of the bill is to correct the pervasive and tenacious misperception that individuals with felony convictions are permanently disenfranchised in Illinois. I'd like to add that it's not just people with a felony conviction who have that misperception. People who've never had any experience with the criminal justice system also have that misperception, including some of my own colleagues with PhDs in political science. So this is a very, very common misperception. Another goal of the bill is to inform re-entering citizens that they automatically regain their eligibility to vote upon release from either IDOC or IDJJ custody. It's to ensure that Illinois remains in the vanguard of promoting civic engagement among re-entering citizens specifically, and of promoting democracy more broadly. Some of the key provisions of the bill, we'd like to emphasize this is a nonpartisan bill. The education that folks will be getting in the Department of Corrections would be definitely nonpartisan. The education is largely procedural and also definitional. We've learned that there's a need to explain certain things, what certain offices do, the language of voting. So part of it is just to explain the language of voting, the basic political science terms, etc. As mentioned, the workshops will be peer taught, and peer instructors will be trained again in a nonpartisan manner by volunteers who have substantial knowledge of voting processes and elected offices. This could include individuals from boards of elections, high school and college civics teachers, and nonpartisan civics organizations. The information will be provided verbally via in-person workshops as part of the exit process. We will hand out hard copy informational guides, and this information can also be broadcast on the internal television network that the Department of Corrections and Juvenile Justice have. The content of these workshops will be rigorous and they will be updated for accuracy. And this bill, I also want to add, does not add new or diminish existing voting rights of citizens. So with that, I will stop because I know we're pressed for time and we'll take questions. Thank you.
Mr. Lane,